Bam! So what's up guys, welcome back to yet another video. And so today in this video we are finally going to look into this software known as After Effects. Today, as this is a beginner's tutorial video, we are going to create our first motion graphics animation in After Effects. Now guys, please don't get panicked when I talk about After Effects, because at first the workspace might be a little intimidating to you all, but as you will get used to working in that workspace, you will get used to things and you'll find things to do in After Effects a lot easier. Alright guys, so by the end of today's tutorial, what we will try to achieve is a really simple motion graphics animation, and here's how it goes. Your shape layer will come to the middle of the screen, it will stay right there. Then from either side of the shape layer, your logo or your text is gonna come out, and all the three are gonna stay right there in the screen. Then your logo and your text layer is gonna merge inside the shape layer, and the shape layer is gonna make its way through the roof. Alright guys, so that might be a little confusing for you all as me just speaking to you all. That will be easier when we'll get into the workspace. And boy, I'm telling you all, if you guys will get your hands started onto this software nicely, you guys are really gonna rock with this software. Alright guys, now just before we get started with this tutorial, let me just give you guys a quick tour on the workspace about this After Effects. So for that reason, I think we gotta need to zoom out a bit, and that's perfect. Right, so here are we inside the After Effects interface. Right, so onto my right hand side, as you all can see, there's a panel. Now this panel is probably used to store your photos, your image, your videos, your music, your everything is gonna be stored right there. Straight onto the top we have this toolbar where we are introduced to some certain important tools which we are really gonna require while we are animating in After Effects. Straight to the left we have this a panel. You know, as you all can see right here, there are tons of panels right here placed above each other. Let us consider this panel right here, the effects panel, and we are gonna get into it as we move further onto the video. To the bottom we have got our timeline. Now timeline is the place where we cut our clip, merge it, and get our final results. Alright, that's the quick definition of timeline. Alright, now to the center of the screen, as you all can see, this is the main composition window, or the main window where your video will be played. Alright guys, so without any further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. At first, what we are going to do is we are going to go to this side of the timeline, and once you're here, click right, then go to new and select text. Here, as you all can see, the cursor is right there in the screen. Now type your name or your text, anything like that. Make sure that your text is highlighted in the timeline. Alright, so once your text is highlighted or selected in the timeline, now comes the part where I have said we'll get into this panel further on in the video. Once our text layer is selected, we are probably going to go to the align panel, as you all can see right there. Alright, so we are going to hit on that, and then we are going to hit on those middle buttons, align horizontally and align vertically. So once you click on those two buttons, your text, wherever the text might be on your screen, will be placed in center of the screen. If you guys don't have this align panel, make sure that you guys go to the top, go to Windows, click on Workspace, go to Default. Alright, bam, you guys will be introduced to the same workspace. So have I gone. Let us now move into the next step. As we have our text layer in center of the screen, what we are going to do is we are going to take our shape layer. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to head over to the timeline, click right, then go to new, and this time we are going to select shape layer. Right, so once you hit that shape layer, then what we are going to do is we are going to head over straight to the top. As you all can see, there is fill on the screen. Then we are going to click on that blue fill text, and then we'll be introduced to this window. Alright, so right here we are going to select none, as we really want only the strokes right here. You guys can probably do the opposite, you know, just cancel the stroke and use only the fill color, but in my case I'm going to use only the strokes. So for that reason I'm selecting none on the fill color. Then I'm going to head over to the stroke, make sure that the stroke is like probably 18:20. And then what I'm going to do is, as my text is on the middle of the screen, just to its side, probably leaving some space between the text layer, I'm just gonna draw a small shape layer right there. So if you guys want to change your color, you guys can go to the strokes panel and you guys can just hit on that outside bar, and you guys can probably just select your own color. Now this is the point where we start with animating things in After Effects. Now what we are going to do right here is, at first we are going to go to the text, layer. Right here, as you all can see, hit on that triangle down to it. Here, as you all can see, the transform option is there. Again, with the triangle, we are gonna hit on that triangle. Just as you hit that transform button, you guys will be introduced to the properties of the text. Here we are gonna go to the position property, and as we want this text layer to come in the middle of the screen, you know, just as a pro tip I'm giving you all, you guys can probably skip to the 15th frame, you know. Then I'm gonna go to the position property of this text layer, and here, as you all can see, just opposite there is a stopwatch icon. Right, so we are gonna click on that. As you all can see, there is automatically a small tiny button on the screen that is formed. Alright, so that's the keyframe. That keyframe had stored the data that at the 15th frame the text should be at the center of the screen. So that's how things work in After Effects using keyframe. Alright, we animate in After Effects using keyframe. Alright, so then what we are going to do is, again, we are going to head back to the 0 frame. Alright, so probably I'm going to do it by hitting home on my keyboard. Right now what we are going to do is we are going to pull the x-axis. X-axis is probably the first option right here, as you all can see. So now what we are going to do is we are going to drag the text from the center to the left side of the screen. We are going to place it right there, just at the point where the text layer is just in the opposite side of the shape layer. Just as you all can see, here's our first animation right here in After Effects. So it's real simple, you know, just maybe complicated at the beginning. As we have done our animation in text, now what we are going to do is we are going to do the same to the shape layer. So for that reason, what we are going to do right here is we are going to again go to the triangle button, hit on that, go to transform of the shape layer. So right here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my cursor to the 4th frame and hit on the stopwatch icon at the position. So I'm going to take my cursor to the 4th frame, hit on the stopwatch icon at the position. So then I'm just going to take my cursor back to the 0 frame and probably going to drag the y-axis of that shape layer full down until it goes outside the screen. So here we have our animation. The shape layer comes up, stays there, the text layer comes up. So at the end also, we want this text layer to head back and the shape layer to go up like this out of the screen. So for that, what we are going to do is just before 3-second mark, I'm just going to go back 2 frames, and then I'm just going to head over to the position panel of the text layer. Here, as you all can see, there are 3 buttons just opposite to the stopwatch icon. So then I am just going to click on that keyframe icon. So then I'm gonna take my cursor to the 3-second frame right there. So then I'm just gonna drag my x-axis to the place where it was before. Probably right now we have got a simple animation right here. Right, so now what we gotta need to do is, as the text layer is coming out from left to the center of the screen, we don't want that left side to be seen. Alright, we just want the left side to be hidden by something. Alright, so at this point we are gonna use mask. Right here we cannot use the mask directly onto the text layer. So for that reason, what we are going to do is we are going to click right, go to new, then right here we are going to take the adjustment layer. Right here, as you all can see, the adjustment layer is at the top. We are going to drag that adjustment layer between the shape and the text layer. So once we have this, what we are going to do right here is just a pro tip, guys. As our shape layer might not be visible to us, I'm just gonna make my cursor move a bit forward until the shape layer is at the center of the screen. So at that point, I'm just gonna select my adjustment layer and go to the rectangular tool onto the top, then select it. Then I'm just gonna draw a rectangular mask onto the screen. But here, as you all can see, the text is still visible right here on the screen. So what we are gonna do for that is we are gonna go to the menu right there. You guys might probably not have this option right here. So for that, you guys are gonna head to the bottom, toggle switches right here, as you all can see. We are gonna click on that. You guys will be automatically introduced to this menu with an extra none option right there on the screen. So then we are gonna head over to that none. What we are gonna do is we are gonna select the second option, alpha mate invert adjustment layer. Right, so once we'll click on that, bam, guys, the text is gone. Guys, please don't get worried because the text layer is right there, but the mask has hit the text layer beneath it. Now if you guys want to add your logo into it, just do the same, guys, but just make sure that you guys put your logo on the center of your screen at the starting, because you know, as the text layer comes out from this side and you guys want your logo to come out from the other side, you know, just make sure that your logo at the beginning is on the center of the screen. Now do the same, transform the properties of your logo layer, then use adjustment layer, then use mask on top of that, and you guys have your first motion graphics animation in After Effects. So right here I would like to give you guys a little bit of pro tip. Now if you guys are using your logo, now when that logo comes out from the shape layer, if you guys want to have like this strokes, like the sparkles coming out while we grind things, right? So for that we are gonna go to the timeline and click on your logo or whatever the logo you are using. Then you guys will be introduced to this layer window. Alright guys, don't get panicked, your main composition window is just beside the layer composition window. Here what we are going to do is we are going to go to the brushes, we are going to take our brushes, and we are going to head over to this left panel. I have already told you what its main uses. Alright, so they're just, you guys can like make your own settings, just select the colors right there, what type of strokes you want right there, right? So after selecting your settings on the paint option and the brushes panel right there, what we are going to do is we are going to head over to the time bar right here, as you all can see. Then we are going to hit Ctrl or Command on your keyboard, then we are going to click on that with our right mouse button. As you all can see, there is only the logo layer on the screen. So what we are going to do is we are going to head over to the main composition panel. So then we are going to take our cursor to the point where your logo is just coming out from the shape layer. Once we'll take our cursor right there, again we are going to head over to the layer composition panel, and so we will start drawing our strokes in our logo layer. Just start drawing out using your mouse, guys. So then what we are going to do is once you have drawn enough strokes, then we are going to hit paste down. So draw some, again do the same, after, just make sure that you guys do this only for some 6 to 7 frames. Alright, then you guys can again come back to the main composition panel. You guys will be introduced to this animation right here using brushes. Alright, so now guys, the brushes which I just showed you guys can probably do also at the end of your animation, So once you have done that, bam, your first motion graphics in After Effects is accomplished and it's looking really good. Alright guys, so I think now is the time that we wrap up this today's tutorial right here. If you guys did enjoy, consider subscribing to my channel, like and share this today's video with the people around you who are interested in getting into animating stuff. Alright guys, so that was it from me today. Alright guys, I had put in a lot of effort making today's tutorial, and for that guys, please subscribe to my channel as we are making our way to our 1,000 subscribers. Alright guys, so let us wrap up today's video right here with our slogan: be kind, be positive. See you soon.